This is All India Radio. In the program Spotlight, now we bring you a discussion on need for celebrating clean and eco-friendly Deepawali. The participants are Dr. Shrikant K. Panigrahi, Director General of the Indian Institute of Sustainable Development, and Sonu Sood, AIR Correspondent.
Tomorrow, the festival of Diwali will be celebrated with joy and enthusiasm across the country, bringing a lot of happiness to people from all walks of life. However, Diwali is also that time of the year when pollution levels peak and respiratory infections become rampant. Mr. Panigrahi, when we talk of the need to celebrate clean and eco-friendly Diwali, what according to you are the major guidelines we all need to follow while celebrating our favorite festival?
Diwali, as you told, is very close to all of us, and there is a lot of historic background involved in it. There is a lot of emotional sentiment involved in it. In addition to it, we have a sense of celebration. We have a sense of worshipping. We have a sense of cleanliness. Many of our yearly activities are also defined on the occasion of Diwali. So it is one of the very credible and significant festival, and irrespective of religious affiliations, in India, it has become Indian cultural identity as a festival. There is no doubt in it. But unfortunately, across over the time, what has happened, the celebration has got into toxic mode. If you see the history, to celebrate the return of Lord Rama to Ayodhya, silently the lakhs and lakhs of people celebrated it by lightening diya or the lamp at their home. So, the sense of welcoming somebody, it has a sense to fight against darkness, to welcome the light, and there are many meanings involved in it. At that time, probably there was nothing called crackers was invented, but subsequently the crackers were started, and then more and more chemicals were used. The children were exposed to very unhygienic and toxic environment to prepare the crackers, which ILO gives very strict guidelines against it. Child labor was utilized, and after all, the kind of the crackers also not only emitted very highly chemicals to the atmosphere, causing huge harm to the people. So it has created a very difficult kind of the situation throughout the country right now. And particularly the older community and children are the largely affected because of this pollution of the crackers in Diwali.
So, as you said that the firecrackers, they pose challenge to the environment, they pose challenge to the health of people who are harmed by the fumes which are generated by the bursting of the firecrackers. Can you tell us, for the benefit of our listeners, what is the concept of green crackers? Because green crackers is something which has become very rampant in discussions related to Diwali. Supreme Court has banned sale and bursting of crackers that contain barium salts, but the green crackers have been kept out of the ban. So can you tell us the concept of green crackers?
Science and technology intervenes to improve our quality of life, and the Indian scientists, because it is a great Indian festival, were very much concerned to invent something alternative to the toxic crackers, which could be environment friendly, which could be emitting a negligible amount of pollution or emission, particularly the toxic gases, which usually harms our health. And somehow, in the name of green crackers, many brands have developed many kind of crackers. It is actually comparatively a new area of research which is getting commercialized, and it is an evolving area of scientific research to make it happen. No crackers are 100% green or 100% clean, and it can be ensured that there will be absolutely no pollution. So many of the green crackers ensure that arsenic or two other toxic chemical emissions can be restricted, but not many other chemical or toxic emissions can be done so far as present green crackers are concerned. Supreme Court has taken a view that in the name of green crackers, a lot of green washing is happening. So green has become a buzzword which is used for marketing by many of the business entities to enhance their image and branding. Whereas what is the extent of green involved in it, that is very important to be seen. Again, we don't have a system of monitoring. So in absence of all these things in present situation, it is no crackers.
So air quality index is one of the metrics which tells us what is the extent of pollution in the atmosphere. What do you feel that the air quality index needs to be monitored very carefully, and whenever there is a certain threshold level of air quality index which is crossed, Supreme Court has banned sale and bursting of crackers that contain barium salts. The green crackers have been kept out of the ban. However, the respective governments of states and union territories have issued their own guidelines, either banning firecrackers altogether or partially banning firecrackers in the cities or towns where air quality index is poor or worse, or some have allowed firecrackers. But these are all strictly green crackers. So you feel, sir, it's very important to disseminate the respective guidelines to people regarding whether crackers are allowed or not in their area, and that they have to go in for only green crackers and ensure that there is no smuggling from one state to the other?
Yes, this is very important question you have raised, and very unfortunate part that irrespective of NGT guidelines, Supreme Court's very strict guidelines, and in many, as you told, air quality index of Delhi is very alarming now. Yesterday it was 303. So also many Indian cities. As many Indian cities, out of 20 most polluted cities of the world, 12 are Indian cities. Air quality index remains alarming, especially during winter. It enhances to a greater extent. Here, the ban is extremely important to be implemented, but very unfortunate part, there are illegal flow of crackers, both the green and non-green crackers, and which is very unfortunately sold. That has come to the knowledge of media personalities and many one of us, which we are experiencing in our daily day-to-day life. So the most important part is we must be careful for ourselves. No other will help us for our survival. Crackers should not be used at all in the interest of the health. And we have very crucial transitional time which is causing huge damage to our health, and not only to the old and children but also the youth whose life expectancy is considerably reducing. And particularly Diwali happens in October, November, and during this time, cold time, we have a limitation of dispersion. The air pollutants cannot be dispersed to the sky at a higher level. They remain confined to the lower level of the atmosphere, and they keep moving within a limited confined area, and the more and more pollution gets accumulated and doesn't find any way to escape, which is a problem particularly in winter in many of the Indian cities, including NCR, which is a matter of concern.
So you feel that it is the responsibility of the citizens to follow the rules which have been laid down, the guidelines which have been laid down, because there are a lot of cases of violation of these rules which have been given by the Supreme Court. And it is said that even if a little bit of violation happens, even if just 50% violation happens compared to the firecrackers which were burst in 2019, our air quality index, say particularly of Delhi, will go to severe. So you feel that more enforcement needs to be put in place?
A very important question. That is the crux of the things. If you see, the crackers are banned. So openly in the marketplace, buying and selling cannot take place. And even through e-trading cannot trade firecrackers. That has been clearly specified. But irrespective of that, various illegal black markets are very active. So it is, after all, we who have to be very serious. Like Supreme Court told, right to celebrate is less important than right to life. Crackers is reducing our life expectancy and it is killing. So right to life is more important, so that has to prevail. And court cannot force us. We need to understand we are making ourselves more and more vulnerable. Unless we realize that, nothing will happen.
Another aspect is the aspect of noise pollution. high decibel level crackers have been causing a lot of noise pollution all these years. So you feel that is another aspect which has been looked at by the courts while passing these orders?
Yes, we have very stringent law to protect the noise level. Under Environmental Protection Act 1986, the permissible noise levels during event celebration or any functions or any kind of occasion, there are standards which are normally followed, and against violation there are strict punishments. Also, various pollution control boards of the states and pollution control committees of union territories have also specified Diwali specific noise level which has to be maintained. But after all, it is very important that enforcement is the key.
Another very important aspect of Diwali celebration is lighting up the house and the exteriors and decoration. So here, how can people follow an eco-friendly path? How do you feel that the lighting and the decorations, they can promote the vocal for local effort which is being made by the government?
Vocal for the local is a very important initiative by the government, and we must promote our traditional system of lightening a diya which is made out of earthen soil and which is 100% recyclable and environment friendly, and that must be promoted. And lightening should be the top and foremost priority than that for getting engaged in crackers in this celebration. There are very beautiful varieties of lightening systems are available, both by using electricity or any type of energy sources. So the traditional system is already there, and we should support the poorer community to enhance their livelihood by encouraging the traditional system.
Another aspect is, instead of electricity guzzling lights, can we use flowers for decoration? Is that a better option?
Certainly, because it is important to understand the source of the electricity. Some electricity comes from hydro route, some electricity comes from renewable route, some electricity comes from thermal route. Thermal is considered as fossil fuel, which creates greenhouse gases. So we don't have a totally green supply of energy sources in our grid. So naturally, flowers are again traditional, and it is 100% biodegradable and quickly recyclable, like mango leaves and different kind of flowers. That is traditionally we have offered to the gods and goddesses and decorated our houses.
And we also exchange a lot of gifts on Diwali, going to each other's houses and exchanging boxes of sweets and gifts, and they are all wrapped in plastic, and a lot of plastic is also used in decoration. So you feel that the festival, along with celebration, it brings a lot of pollution in the way of the usage of the extended usage of plastic also, and how can that be replaced?
Traditionally, it is a very important occasion in which there is exchange of love, it's a kind of a cultural celebration. So different ways and means of complementing is there. That is always nicely to be accepted. But the use of plastic is certainly a great concern, and particularly single-use plastic, which is very dangerous. In fact, India has already enacted a law for it. From 2022 March 31st onwards, we cannot use single-use plastic. It is banned. So alternatives are to be used, because plastic doesn't decompose so easily, and it takes thousands of years to decompose. And unfortunately, in our drinking water, you will find plastic, and plastic is into our food chains, and it is in the oceans. A lot of ocean wildlife are killed because of plastic. All the plastic we throw here and there ultimately ends up in ocean, and there are many dead zones has been created in the ocean, which is indirectly reducing the dissolved oxygen level, and ocean is the largest oxygen regulator of the planet. It is affecting our survival too.
So, sir, you talked about the sense of cleanliness. We clean our houses, but we pollute the air, and we have to stop that. We have to ensure that the air also remains clean. We'll be wishing all our listeners a very happy, clean and eco-friendly Diwali, and thank you so much for this discussion, sir.
Thank you very much.
You were listening to a discussion on need for celebrating clean and eco-friendly Deepawali. The participants were Dr. Shrikant K. Panigrahi, Director General of Indian Institute of Sustainable Development, and Sonu Sood, AIR correspondent. This program was produced and presented by the News Services Division of All India Radio. You can listen to it on our mobile app, News on AIR. This program is also available on our YouTube channel, News on AIR Official. You may email your opinion about this program at airnsdtalks@gmail.com.